How you guys doing? Chris Ignato here, and you're watching Nature Now. And this is yet another installment of my nature review series month by month. So July has rolled through, bearing the weight of the summer and carrying with it a ton of heat. And let me tell you, July was a scorcher. So many days were in the 80s and 90s, urging us to run for the shade just to keep from burning. But I have to admit, there were some really nice days in the 70s, and they were a blessing. So with that, let's turn our eyes towards the sky. We had our rainy days too, but most of them just evaporated away as tomorrow's promise. That bugged me a lot because there were supposed to be a lot of thunderstorms, and they never came. When it did rain though, the next day often provided a wonderful variety of mushroom and fungi to marvel at. Like most summers, the clouds were wonderful, giving us a great canvas of both cumulus, nimbus, and cumulonimbus clouds to ponder at. Of course, like most summers, those clouds were joined by tons of vultures and hawks riding those thermals high up into the skies. One day, I looked up to see 24 turkey vultures all circling above, and it was a really cool spectacle to behold. The night skies were beautiful too, giving us plenty of moths and fireflies, and there were even several planets to keep the evening moon company. Speaking of nights, the nocturnal chorus of tree, bush, and field crickets were already singing alongside cone-nosed katydids in early July. Now I actually found that pretty strange, to find cone-nosed katydids singing in early July. I don't usually see them until late July or August, and I really associate them with the fall. They weren't the only ones singing, however. Trilling cicadas and many other diurnal crickets took up the daytime hours. And to tie them all together, many of those gray tree frogs from before have grown up and threw their voice in that beautiful chorus, singing long into the night and oftentimes keeping people awake until the wee hours of the morning. I've heard people complain about that one. And those rains would make them sing particularly loud. So left over from June, early July sported some pumpkin seed fish nesting and spawning, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Nearly every body of water had a lot of fishermen throwing their hooks out into the waters, and I'm pretty sure that's going to carry well into the fall. Spotting snakes had become a lot less common due to the summer heat. A lot of them go into what's known as estivation, and that's sort of a summer hibernation. It just gets too hot for them, and they go under rocks and boulders and pretty much subterranean to wait out those hotter days. Throughout July, plenty of berries became ripe for the plucking. Wineberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries were just dying to be thrown on a table to excite your palate. Everything was enjoying nature's bounty, and there was plenty of food to spare, bringing competition for resources to a minimum. The hustle and bustle of late season foraging and preparing for those colder months seemed a world away. Looking at every meadow, the bushes and flowers were being visited by bees, butterflies, and all sorts of other pollinators. So many colors were represented, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Strolling through the woods, it was not uncommon to walk smack dab into the center of an orb weaver's web, especially those spiny microthenas. It takes some getting used to, but they're going to get a lot bigger come fall. The waters of creeks, streams, and lakes was becoming shallower and shallower as the summer sun was evaporating them. Again, I look forward to those thunderstorms. And of course, another normal summer sight is seeing dogs, squirrels, and even birds panting to that immense heat. Now something else I noticed that is pretty strange for this year is quite early on in the season, many of the leaves were drying up, turning brown, and even dropping to the ground. Maybe it's because of the wilting, but I think it might mean something else. I don't usually see that until September or so either. And do you remember those little ducklings and goslings from my previous review? Well, they're all grown up now, and it's become really difficult to tell the adults from this year's generation. Pretty soon, they'll be moving out and starting a life all for themselves. July was also when the beach blight aphids and Japanese beetles really showed up en masse and covered some of the branches and leaves of trees and bushes. Unfortunately, July also marked the next stage in the life cycle of the spotted lanternfly. The trees in some parks were practically covered in them. Not exactly the best sight to behold when you're visiting the parks, I have to admit. Now it is August, and I expect to see more of what July has left us with some additional trees to really appreciate. The nights will be roaring even louder with cone noses and other katydid species, and of course your trusted field crickets and other bush crickets. I can't wait. The meadows will be lush with tons of goldenrods and dogbane flowers, and pollinators abound. The sun will be setting early. The evenings will be filled with backyard laughter and music, as the early sunsets will be well before bedtime. There will be more moths and beetles than we can shake a stick at. And the smell of a distant campfire and an evening breeze might just bless our noses. Those delicious pawpaws will be ripening and ready for tasting. And the wildlife will be preparing for fall's harvest. I'm hoping for a few end of summer storms to jot down on the calendar. And I can't wait to see what else is in store as summer draws to an end. So tune in next month for another installment of my nature review series month by month. Until then, thanks a lot for watching, and I'm Chris Ignato, signing out. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, if you like this video, be sure to check out this video over here that YouTube has selected specifically for you based on your watch time. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, but you gotta click the bell icon, because if you don't, YouTube will never let you know when a new video of mine comes out. And remember, passion inspires spirit. Chris Ignato, signing out.